Good morning. This weekend I saw a t-shirt that says, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little.
But I cuss a little.
Reminds me of a preacher who was going through town and he seen this little kid with a lawnmower with a sign on it that said, for sale and trade. The preacher says, son, what do you got to have for that lawnmower? He said, I'd really like to have a bicycle. He said, well, I got a bicycle if you'll guarantee that lawnmower to run. That little boy said, yes, sir, that lawnmower will run. So he goes and trades and he comes back. A couple days later, he sees that little boy riding through town with that bicycle and he says, son, you lied to me. He said, you guarantee me that lawnmower will run. I can't even get it to start. That little boy said, oh, preacher, you got to cuss that lawnmower. He said, no, sir. He said, I've been a preacher for over 30 years. I done forgot how to cuss. That little boy said, you keep pulling on that string. It'll come back to you. Now listen, I'm not going to judge anybody for cussing because I play golf. But I was reminded by Scripture where Peter denied Christ 3 times. The first 2, people still didn't believe him. The third time, he cussed. And that's when they knew this man has no part of Jesus. So I ain't judging nobody. I'm just going to leave that right there. All right? If this is your first time with us here at Christpoint Church, we want to say welcome home. If you've not filled out one of these cards, we'd love for you to. We have a nice gift for you. A few quick announcements. First, we open our doors for the car show, things that we have going on in the public. We open our doors, and you guys do a phenomenal job of providing food and just really making people feel welcome. I was talking to Byron before the service, and we've had a lot of really good compliments about the way you guys treat the public. The food, the hospitality, everything is phenomenal. And I just want to say a great big thank you from everybody here at Christpoint Church, for everybody that gets involved and does that. Thank you so much. Representing us the way that you do. Also, every Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. we have prayer point where we open our doors for everybody to come in and pray. That's every Friday from 9 to 10. Tuesday night small group will not be meeting this week. Thursday night single small group this week will be meeting at Molly's house at 6:30. Miss Grace's small group will be going to rugby May 6th. So we will not have that small group on May 7th. And then Sparky and Dorcas' small group will not be meeting in the month of May. On Wednesday nights, going in at 6 o'clock, we fuel the body. 6:30, we start our classes and fuel the spirit. A few other quick important dates. For the month of May is May 14th is Mother's Day. May 20th is the Women's Luncheon. May 21st, Promotion Sunday here. Stand with me. In true Christpoint fashion, we love to love on people. That's what we're going to do. Find a few people, tell them welcome home. Tell them good morning, you love them. Come on back, let's worship the Lord together.
when you got a wife like mine. But anyway, she's wonderful. Welcome home. Once if you're visiting with us, welcome home. Welcome home. Please fill one of these out because we're not going to stalk you at all between the hours of 1 and 3 a.m. But please fill one out. We want to know who's here, what's going on. It's exciting. It's very, very exciting. I had posted on Facebook a year ago that it's exciting being involved with what I consider one of the fastest growing churches in the Upper Cumberland. God's doing some great things here. I'm excited about what God's done. I'm excited about you guys being a part of it. Let's pray this morning. If you've been affected by this prayer, the best way to say that I have been affected by us praying the prayer together is to raise your hand as a witness and a testimony. I am one of those. Let me explain to you if you're visiting with us. We pray a corporate prayer in unison over our offering. We don't, in God's tithes, it's not a prosperity prayer. Please don't leave, folks, and think that we're praying prosperity prayers. We're praying literally out loud together, and we're empowering every situation. Because I'm going to tell you something, people come to me on a regular basis and say, I'm going to have to take a little sabbatical from praying the prayer. I got too much work going on, I can't get it done. And right back here's one of them. But I don't want you to do that. I want you to pray and believe and it's to exalt the Lord in all that we do. I want you to be blessed. Let's pray this prayer together for this morning's tithes and offerings. As we receive this morning's tithes and offerings, we are believing, Lord, for provision and protection, jobs and better jobs, raises and bonuses, benefits, sales and commissions, favorable settlements and contracts, interest and income, rebates and returns, checks in the mail, gifts and surprises, money found and debts paid off, expenses decreased and blessings increased. And thank you, Lord, for meeting all of my financial needs so that I may have more than enough to give into the kingdom of God and promote the gospel of Jesus Christ. And we said together, amen, 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 amen. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, our ushers, for allowing us to worship in God's tithes this morning and our own offerings. Thank you for that. I want to say Mother's Day is not this next Sunday, but it's the Sunday after. It's on the 14th. So I want you to bring your mom with. We're going to celebrate Mothers on the 14th. Bring your mom with you. I'm going to challenge you not to cook for anybody that day. And I want you to bring your mom and just celebrate moms with us that day. Now, I also want to say it's a good morning. If you'll notice, we've moved some things around over here. We just got some baptisms that's going to happen. Good stuff. Now, there's one thing that I have noticed is that when the super family does something, they do it, all of them. So, we're going to line people up and baptize this morning, so please stay with us. Don't take off at the end of the service. Stay in with us just for a few minutes. So let's celebrate that renewing in the Lord. This is an outward testimony. Baptism is of an inward working of the Lord. This is just to say, hey, look what the Lord has done for me. Stand with us this morning. Stand with us. Let's sing. Let's worship in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Just lift your hands towards heaven this morning with your hearts. And give God thanks for what He's doing in this church, in our hearts, in our lives. Come on, you're going to this morning. Do you know that this is what we're going to be doing for eternity? Hallelujah, Jesus. Do you know that it's going to be worth it? Every pain that you're feeling, every hurt, every heartache, it will all be worth it once you are able to see the glory of God, to look upon His face, to sit in His lap, and He is good. So let's just take a moment to thank and praise Him. I don't understand your ways. Oh, that I give you my song. I'll give you
the one, Lord, that can take me deeper still. Thank you, Lord. We cannot be satisfied with just going a little bit. I don't want any of us to be satisfied ever just getting to the water's edge, Lord. Take us deeper still, Lord. In the name of Jesus, we ask you, Lord, to bless your word as you blessed your time of worship this morning, Lord. We honor you and we praise you, Lord. We're moving forward. We're gaining momentum, Lord. We are believing for better, for greater. We're reaching higher, Lord, and we're engaging to bring others in, Lord, and to go deeper still, Lord. We thank you. We praise you. We love you and we need you, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen. Shake hands with somebody. Tell them welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Amen. Amen, 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 amen. Welcome to the 9 a.m. service at Christpoint Church. Let me just begin by saying that if you are listening to us by radio, then we want to say welcome home. We're Christpoint Church. We're located on the square in Sparta, and our service times are 9 and 11 on each and every Sunday morning. We don't take Sundays off, so we want to invite you to come. So we want to invite you to be a part. We want to say we're real people, living real lives, and we're serving a real God. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Hey, what's upstream? Folks, what's upstream? Now, I want you to go with me, and I really do believe when God laid this on my heart, God kind of lays something in your spirit in the oddest ways. When God laid this on my heart, I was listening to and watching the weather, believe it or not. If you want to know what's going on in the weather, everybody that knows me, my son calls me on a regular basis, Dad, what's the weather going to be? What's it supposed to be like? Is it going to rain at 3:15? I mean, he thinks I'm the weatherman. But I'm a weather buff. I really enjoy it. I'm watching the weather, and God laid this on my heart. So what's upstream? What's upstream? Whatever you dump, let's keep this in mind. Whatever you dump upstream eventually affects the water quality downstream. Now, whatever we dump or whatever we do upstream, it's going to affect that water quality downstream. Now, if you dump old car batteries upstream, then let me just tell you, don't drink the water downstream. Just don't think about doing that. If your upstream neighbor has a white pipe with brown water pouring out of it into the stream, then don't swim in the pools downstream. It's pretty common sense. You don't take a lot of knowledge and a lot of discernment to figure that one out. If storms are raging upstream, if storms are raging and it's nice and pretty and sunny where you are, if storms are raging upstream, then don't make camp by the water's edge downstream. You might find out that you're underwater real fast. But what we do today affects the quality of water downstream later. What we do today, I really do believe that I want you to grab a hold of this. This is one of those sermons that nobody's exempt from it. It's not a youth sermon. It's not a children's sermon. It's not an old person sermon. It's not, let me back up, it's not a more mature person sermon. And it's not a young adult. It's it's a shotgun approach. This morning, God has laid this on my heart. It's so very important. So go with me, go with me, go with me. We are one generation away from poisoning the stream, people. We're just one, I don't know who quoted it. I don't know if it's been quoted multiple times by multiple sources, but, it's been said in my Christian life is that we're one generation from Christianity being extinct. We're one generation from poisoning the stream. Now I want to show you what that looks like in just a minute. See, my question today is, what are we passing down to our posterity? What are we passing down to those that come behind us? What are we passing down? Tina did an illustration Wednesday night on the scripture, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Now, I've said this for years. God laid this on my heart. When something runs over, it affects everybody else. So don't stop at the pressed down and shaken together. Let it run over. Let it affect people around you. And when people around you get affected, then you know what? You've got a movement. You've got traction. You've got something happening. What are we passing down to our posterity? Are we passing down money? That's a good thing. That's wise investment. Are we passing down money or inheritance or lands to those that come after us? Not a bad thing at all. Are we passing down a good name? Because let me tell you something, the Word says a good name is rather to be had than great riches. So are we passing down a good name? I really hope that we are. Are we passing down a good name? I preached a sermon on this one time. My wife's grandfather died and went to be with the Lord because he could not stay at home. In his sickness, he still had to go out and pay the lawnmower guy for fixing his lawnmower, and he was involved in a car accident. So let me tell you something. A good name. This man said, look, I owe this man, and I'm going to pay it. A good name. Are we passing down a good name? Are we passing down good health? The DNA or the gene in us that produces good health. I really pray that we do. I pray that we're taking care of ourselves. I pray that we're eating right and we're putting in good stuff that takes care of our bodies. We're getting some type of exercise. Are we passing down good health tips? Are we passing down prosperity? Are we passing down the want to be better? The want to be better. I said to somebody the other day, I said, there's times, Tina and I were talking, there's times when you almost wish that the Lord would just let you be okay. Just let me be okay today. Let me not, don't let me try to be better today than I was yesterday. It drives me crazy sometimes. It's a constant move to be better than I was. So you know what? It's what God made. It's how God made me. It's who I am. Are we passing down a work ethic? My word. Let me tell you something. If we need to be passing down anything in this day and age, we need to be passing down a work ethic. We need to be passing down an ability to get something done. We need to be passing down our work ethic. But folks, let me tell you something. We are what's upstream. We are living what's upstream. We are the what's upstream. Fathers and mothers, we're the head of the stream. Right now I'm telling you. We are the head of the stream. What we do today affects the water quality downstream later. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Joshua chapter. I want to show you what I'm talking about in the Scripture. I'm going to break this down for you, and I'm going to show you Joshua chapter 24, verses 14 and 15. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Now, this is in Joshua's older days. He is a few verses away from dying. Now, I'm telling you, I don't know how much time passed by between these verses, but he's a few verses away from dying. So this is at the end, and if you've been around me any length of time, you know that I can dive into the book of Joshua and never come out. It's like it's like Kmart and Walmart for me. So I'm telling you, I can get in there and stay in there. Now therefore, verse 14. Now therefore, fear the Lord. This is Joshua saying, look, I'm getting to be old. I'm a few verses from dying. My days are over. I don't have any fire left in me. I don't have any physical ability left in me. My eyes have waned. My health is waned. I'm just, I'm going to be with the Lord here pretty quick. And he's saying, now therefore fear the Lord. And this is what he's done. Let me back up again. Before he has entered into this verse 14, he has told them everything God has done for them. Now, God led you out of Egypt. God led you across the wilderness. God led you across the Jordan. God fed you. God did this. When the Amorites rose up against you, He gave you the ability to fight back. He destroyed Jericho for you. All these things, this is what He has done. Now, therefore, fear the Lord. Now, therefore, now that I have told you everything that God has done for you, you know what? Maybe in society we need to go around and tell people more about what God's done for them. It's like, I'm just not happy. I'm not happy at home with my wife. Let me tell you what your wife's done for you. She left her mother and father and she cleaved to you. Now, let me tell you, why don't you give a little bit more attention to your wife? I'm just throwing that one in, it didn't cost you anything. Now, therefore, fear the Lord and serve Him in sincerity and in faithfulness. Put away gods. Got a little G there. Put away gods that your fathers served beyond the river and in Egypt. Put away those things and serve the Lord. Now verse 15. And if it is evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, if you don't want to serve the Lord, if it's not what you want to do, choose this day who you're going to serve. Man, it's one of my favorite verses. Whether the gods your fathers served in the region beyond the river or the God of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we're on board. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. I'm going to do this. So let me break this down for you. Serve the Lord. Everything, can you imagine? You can't count what the Lord has done for you. Serve the Lord. Be faithful. Put away idolatry. Chase that stuff away from you like a disease. Get away from selfishness. You're going to serve a God. You're going to serve something. Now this is what he's saying. You're going to serve something. I'm not going to make any bones about it. You're going to serve something. We are designed and we are built to serve something. You just got to pick which one you're going to do. Make a choice today. Serve the Lord or serve this junk. Man, whatever you want to do, choose. Get off the fence, because me, I'm serving the Lord, Joshua says. This is what I've committed myself to. Like I said, he's an old man. He's an old man. And he goes on. I want you to go home and I want you to read this. It's good couch reading. Just sit down, because when you leave here, you're going to go out. You might even play golf this afternoon. You might have a good time. But when it rains, you're going to go home and sit down. When you do, open up Joshua chapter 24 and keep reading. Because this is what he's doing. He's giving them a prophetic message. He's giving them some foretelling. He says, you're going to do wrong. He's not talking about them immediately. He's talking about the nation of Israel. You're going to do wrong. You're going to do wrong. You're not going to follow the Lord. You're going to separate yourselves from the Lord. You won't serve Him when I'm gone. You're not going to do this. You won't serve Him. Now, and their comeback is yes. Oh, yes, we will too. Oh, yes, we will. Let me give you a practical example of that. You have a child, and that child wants to borrow money. That child says, I will pay it back. That child knows that they're not. That they are. They're believing that they're going to pay you back, and you know good well they'll never pay it back. You might as well say, here, take my money and my clothes. You're not paying me back. I might as well go buy new clothes. You know what? That's what they're saying here. Yes, we will. And Joshua's like, you're not going to do it. You're just not going to do it. It's not going to happen in the long term. See, they swore by the Lord. Yes, we will. We'll make a covenant before the Lord now. They even placed a stone and said, these stones are witness to our testimony about what we... And Joshua bound them to this oath and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. You serve the Lord. This is what you said you're going to do. Now you got to realize, Joshua was an old man. Everybody in his generation died. Everybody except Caleb. There's nobody as old as Joshua. These are all people that was younger than Joshua, a generation. So it'd be like me and somebody 25, 30 years younger than me. So in other words, it is Joshua being the older man, being the patriarch of the community, being the overseer, the fatherhead of the entire nation. And he's saying, listen, you have got to walk with the Lord, and don't you back up for anything. Don't you back up and don't you quit on the Lord. And they're like, we're going to. Don't. And this is Joshua, who the Lord told him, don't let this word depart from your mouth. And he is saying, look, you serve the Lord. I'm not living many more verses. Time for you to serve the Lord. Now, they had this oath, and they swore by this oath. And all is well, all is good. Joshua chapter 24, now let's go to 24. Joshua 24:24. And the people said to Joshua, the Lord our God we will serve, and His voice we will obey. Man, we will serve the Lord, and His voice we will obey. We'll tell you something. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. This is what you want to hear. This is what you want to hear. But let me tell you something. I think when it comes to this, me, all of us, Joshua, we're all from Missouri. Missouri's a show-me state. You got to show me something. Don't just tell me that you're going to serve the Lord. Show me that you're going to serve the Lord. Show me that you're going to walk with the Lord. Amen. Amen. Come on, Christy. I'm a town from Missouri. When I talk about this, show me something, walk in it, and do it, and pour into those that come behind you. We're getting to there. Okay, now, They said, we will serve the Lord, we'll obey Him, all is well. Now let's go directly a couple more chapters later. We're at the end of Joshua, where let's go into the book of Judges. Now let's just go just a few more chapters later. We're going into Judges chapter 2, verse 7. And this is what, all of a sudden, we've got a little bit of a shift. The people served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders who outlived him. In other words, all of that generation that was with Joshua, they served the Lord. Now I want you to key in on something here with me. All the people served the Lord all the days of Joshua. All is well. And all the days of the elders who outlived Joshua. All is well. We've got Joshua and we've got the ones that served after him. But look at what after this comma. Who had seen all the great work of the Lord, or all the great work the Lord had done for Israel. Joshua served the Lord, and everybody served the Lord with him. The ones that served with Joshua served the Lord, and all the people served the Lord with them, who had seen all the great work the Lord had done for Israel. Jesus said, blessed are those who believe and have not seen. So let me tell you something. We've got people served the Lord all the days of Joshua. Joshua died. 100-some years old, he died. And all the days of the elders that lived on. All of those that lived on. So let's say they lived another 25 or 30 or 40, maybe even 50 years. Let's say they lived a long, long life after that. They served the Lord. Everybody served the Lord. But notice this one thing. These are the people who have seen the works of the Lord. These are the people who watched the walls fall down without anything but a trumpet blast and a shout. These are the folks that watched the waters of the Jordan part that way and that way so the entire nation could walk. I mean, literally, I like to picture this in my mind. When the presence of the Lord, the Ark of the Covenant, was carried by the priest out into that water, it just went like that. I mean, and people these are the people that saw what God did. These are the people that saw hailstones the size of Volkswagens beat people to death. These are the ones that put their foot on the necks of the kings that were giants. These are the people who served with him and saw what the Lord had done. Don't ever forget that verse. These are the people who have seen the works of the Lord. Now let's move to verse 10. Staying in Judges. Let's move to verse 10. And all that generation also were gathered to their fathers. Now, what that says is all of those people died. All of those people died. Joshua died. Wasn't anybody in Israel older than Joshua? Pretty much, maybe Caleb, but virtually same age, we'll say. But all of those people died. So Joshua died. All of this generation that made that covenant with the Lord and let the stone hear our voices, let the stone be witness to our words, they died. So all of that generation that were gathered, they gathered the fathers. In other words, they died. And there arose another generation after them who did not know the Lord or the work that He had done for Israel. They rose up. This is the next generation. They didn't know anything about the Lord. They didn't even know anything about what the Lord had done. So we've got generation 1. We've got Joshua. Generation number 1 is Joshua, who knew the Lord. This is the guy who would tarry in the presence of the Lord. This is the guy when revelry, when idolatry was going on in the plains and the valley, he rose above it and waited upon Moses to come out of the mountains. This is the guy who served the Lord. This is the guy who God chose. This is the guy who did not let the word of the Lord depart from his mouth. Joshua knew the Lord. We got generation number 1. He knew what the Lord had done. He had a relationship with the Lord. This is a guy who knew the Lord. This is a guy that not only knew the Lord, not only knew what God could do, but he knew what it was like to live in slavery. Now let me tell you something. If you're in this house and you've never sat in an old barn outhouse toilet, you don't know, and you're not sure if there's snakes in there and poison ivy growing all over it. Let me tell you something. You can only imagine. You can only imagine, but there's some of us in here that have sat on those things. If you never got up in the middle of the night and your mama made you go sit on that little funny mode, let me tell you something. You don't know what life. You can only imagine it. You can only imagine it. You know, it's like the guy said, I got good news and bad news. What's the good news? Well, I kicked over the Thunderbug. He said, well, what's the good news? Well, it was frozen. But see, you can't grasp what I'm talking about. You just can't understand it. I can't understand when you start talking about technology. I don't understand it. When Amanda Hall and I begin to start talking, you know what? I'm hearing her. She's like, wah, 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 wah. I have no idea what she's saying. I'm just shaking my head and saying, what you do is good. I'm totally. But see, you know, we're totally two different generations. This generation, Joshua knew the Lord. He knew the Lord. The second generation that came along knew. The Word just told us, they knew what God did. They saw what God did. The first generation knew the Lord, Joshua. The second generation knew what God did. The third generation didn't know what He did or Him either. That it's so quickly, at some point, somewhere, somebody poisoned the stream. Somebody poisoned the stream. Somewhere the stream got poisoned. I don't know where. But I'm guessing in the second generation the stream got poisoned. Because let me tell you something. It's different knowing about the Lord and knowing the Lord. It's a different mentality. It's a different relationship. It's a different world around us. Let me tell you something. It is different when you start praying for somebody. It's different praying to a Lord that you know about and praying to a Lord that you know, that you have a relationship with. So somewhere somebody poisoned the stream. And when you poison the stream, everything downstream dies. Everything down there is not effective anymore. Let's look at Judges chapter 2 again. Let's look at 11. This is the very next verse. And the people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord and served the Baals. They served everything but God. They served all kinds of gods that, see, it's like I said, we are built and designed to worship something. We're going to serve something. And Joshua told them, look, you're going to serve something. You can either pick this mess or you can choose the Lord. Because let me tell you something, this appeals to the flesh. This appeals to what I want to do in my flesh. But the Lord appeals to our spirit and the righteousness. And you know what the Lord will do? The Lord will gain us in life. The Lord will give us favor in life. That stuff will destroy us. When we serve ourselves, when we serve the junk, it will destroy us. They did evil. They served everything but Him. Let's look at verse 15 now. Let's look at verse 15. Whenever they marched out, now just right there, whenever they marched out, let's put that in 2017 terms. Whenever they went to work, whenever they went to school, whenever they went to their friend's house, whenever they went to pay their bills, whenever they went to try to make a living, whenever they went to be happy, whenever they went to get married to someone they thought they loved, whenever they looked and they searched for peace and joy and happiness in their life, the hand of the Lord was against them for harm. As the Lord had warned, He told them, it's not like He didn't give them warning. Somebody failed to pass down what God said. The Lord had warned them, and as the Lord had sworn to them, He said, look, I've told you about this. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not going to swear by myself and warn you by myself and then turn my back on my word. I can't do that. And they were in terrible distress. They were in terrible distress. Let me tell you something. Not only did God leave them, see, God's not going to be associated with unrighteousness. God's not going to be associated with sinfulness. He is the forgiver of the sinner, but He is not going to partake in the sin. He's not going to revel in that. Not only did He leave them, He became their enemy. Because let me tell you something, if you want a recipe for disaster, right here it is. If you want a recipe, if you want the formula for doing wrong, right here it is. Not only did He leave them, He became their enemy. That is the worst feeling possibly on the face of the earth in the history of mankind, is to know that we serve the Lord and now God is against us to get our attention and to pull us back into righteousness. Now let's bring this thing home. Folks, I want to tell you something. I'm going to ask you something. What are you leaving upstream? What are you leaving upstream? That's all I'm asking. And let me tell you, when we look back on the Old Testament, when we look back in the history of the Scriptures, they're not a story. They are the truth. It's not something that somebody made up to sound good. It's not a best-selling fictional novel. It is the real thing. And what are we leaving upstream is my question today. What are we leaving up there for those that come after us? See, the days of thinking of ourselves need to be over. The days of focusing on me need to be over. See, I've said this for years. People make too many decisions based upon how they feel right now. Let me tell you something. They put those things in the aisleways. They're called impulse buys. They put them there for you to buy them on the way out. Oh, I need that beef jerky. Oh, it's tough down there. I need those batteries. Whatever that thing is, I got to have one. Yeah, it's impulse. We base our decisions today on how we feel right this minute. Right this minute. We've got to think past that. I want to give you a prime example. I don't feel like I want to be a part of church anymore. I don't feel like I want to serve the Lord anymore. Well, you know what? It don't just affect you. When you feel like you don't want to serve the Lord anymore, you're poisoning the stream is what you're doing. Because everything that comes after you gets poisoned. Everything gets poisoned. And let me tell you something. If you want to destroy what happens downstream, then make decisions on how you feel right now. In the real now. Oh, I'm just a real person. I don't feel like it. You better start feeling like it. I don't care if it hurts you a little bit or not. If it hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. But you better start feeling like it. You better start making some choices. Our society today better start making some choices. We better choose this day whom we're going to serve. That's all I can say about that. The time for selfishness is over. There must be an outflow. There's got to be something flowing in and something flowing out in order to sustain life. In other words, if I never have children, then let me tell you something. My children will never have children. I can promise you that. So if you want to stop the good name, then just don't have any children. I'm selfish. I just want to hoard it for myself. You know, I'm not saying everybody's that way. I'm just saying if that's the mentality. There must be an outflow. There must be something going out to sustain life. Let me tell you real quick about the Jordan River. The Jordan River is the dividing line for the move of God. In the Scriptures, it's the dividing line for the move of God. It flows into two bodies of water. It starts and begins to start flowing out of the mountains. And let me tell you something. Let's consider the mountains being that generation of Joshua. Let's consider the mountains where it starts. It says that patriotic beginnings where Joshua laid down the laws and laid down the hunger for righteousness. It flows into two bodies. One of them is the Sea of Galilee. The one it flows into first is the Sea of Galilee. They are really lakes. That has several different names in Scripture. But these waters, the very mention of the Sea of Galilee, if you've ever even heard of the Bible or read anything, you have read about the Sea of Galilee. We cannot name how many things went on and around the Sea of Galilee. Men were chosen by God at the shores of the Sea of Galilee. Men cast their nets in the seas of Galilee. God separated the very waters of the Jordan, not once for God's people, not twice for God's people, but 3 times for either a man of God or God's people to cross. Not just once, but totally stop the flow of the entire movement of the river. The waters healed the leper. The waters of the Sea of Galilee supported the weight of Peter as he walked upon it. It bustled with commerce. The waters provided the fish that fed the multitudes. The waters of the Jordan baptized the masses, and the waters of Galilee baptized the masses. The waters of the Jordan even baptized my Lord and my Savior Jesus Christ. It overflowed the nets of the fishermen. It raged and created storms and fueled storms and was witnessed and watched those very storms calmed by the very voice of the Lord. This everything, bustling, everything. It's been reported that the Sea of Galilee has many more species of fish than most anywhere in the world. I'm not exactly how many, but in one place they've got so many different species of fish in one area. So let me tell you something. The Jordan River runs in and the Jordan River runs out. The Jordan River flows in and it flows out and it creates life. When life goes in, life's got to come out. The stream's got to continue to flow life. So the Jordan runs on from there. It runs on. And the next body of water that it runs into is the Dead Sea. It flows from the mountains to the Sea of Galilee, becomes a river again, and then flows into the Dead Sea. Let me tell you why it's called the Dead Sea. It's called the Dead Sea because as far as living and breathing, as far as standing anywhere on this earth and breathing oxygen, not being underwater, it's the lowest point on the face of the earth. There is nothing lower than the Sea of Galilee. It's almost 1,400 feet below sea level. And the Jordan River runs into it. And when you're at the lowest point, nothing can run out. So the only way for the water to escape is to evaporate. So everything, all impurities, all minerals, all sodium, all chloride, everything washes right down and begins to start settling in this pool called the Dead Sea. The only way for water to escape is to evaporate. Water evaporates, but minerals don't evaporate. So it leaves what's called sodium chloride or salt. It's almost 10 times more salty than the ocean. The minerals are so thick that you can't even sink in it. They said it's impossible to drown in the Sea of Galilee, in the Dead Sea, because you can't get underwater. Nothing can live here. Not one thing can live here. It can't sustain life. So my question is, what's upstream? What's upstream? People, where there's an outflow, there's life. Look at these two bodies of water. Look at the ones that God placed the Sea of Galilee to be a place of life and a place of commerce, a place where people gathered. A place where they made their living, a place where they fed their families, a place where they were content and happy, a place where it literally was life because something was flowing in and something was flowing out. The upstream was supplying and continuing downstream. There's got to be an in and an out. We can't just allow the Lord... The worst thing that we can do, one of the worst things we do is to say, Lord, forgive me of my sins, and then say I don't want anybody ever to know about it. I want to keep it to myself and just forget that it happened. I don't want anybody to know about it. I'm just going to hide what God's done. That's not the way God has built us and designed us. Folks, we are what's upstream. There's got to be an outflow. You have an opportunity today to bring life to your family. You have an opportunity to bring life to your family. You have an opportunity to introduce your children to Jesus Christ. You have an opportunity to introduce your teacher to Jesus Christ. You have an opportunity to introduce your co-worker to Jesus Christ. You have an opportunity to invite that person that is checking you out in the aisleway at Walmart to come to church with you and introduce them with Jesus Christ. You have an opportunity when you stop at the traffic light and your wife is talking to the people next to you because of a little bit of road rage. You have an opportunity to witness to those people. And if you're my pastor, you have an opportunity to get out when the guy's holding the flag for the traffic and get out and invite him to church. You have an opportunity to invite people to Christ. We have an opportunity to show them how to live for Christ. We have that opportunity. We have got to allow the Lord to flow in us, and we've got to be pouring out to somebody else. We can't let the stream die with us. If we poison the stream today, we will bring to us and our families nothing flowing out, no chance of life, and a climate of death. It brings us to the lowest point. The Dead Sea is at the lowest point. If you want to get to the lowest point, then just shove God right out. If you want to get to the lowest point, then you just move God right out. I'm going to tell you something. We have one of the live in a society today that has one of the highest suicide rates ever known to mankind. And it's because we're living in the lowest places that we could possibly get to. There's nothing flowing out. It's all stagnant, and nothing is alive. Nothing can live. If we hoard up now, then we die and everyone behind us dies. If we hoard up now, we poison ourselves and we poison our families to follow. Pour yourselves into something. Pour yourselves into someone else. Let me tell you something. I got to say this over and over and over. And I'll never quit saying it. My pastor used to say stuff all the time about how men went up in the middle of nowhere to a bootlegger's house to invite him to church, and that's how every one of them got to know the Lord, his Father. Let me tell you something. One man invited me to church, and one man and woman discipled me. Let me tell you something. That was the difference. Somebody invited me, and somebody poured into me. The Sea of Galilee was the source of life for an entire region. The Dead Sea is where things go to die. That's where things go to die. Worship team, if you would come. We've got two bodies of water that represent the generations. Are we going to allow a generation around us right now? Or are we going to allow a generation to die? Are we going to allow them? Because let me tell you something. It's a different day and time. People, let me tell you something. It's coming. Now is the time when we're going to have to believe whether we see it or not. Whether we witness it or not, we're going to have to believe in our heart that God raised Jesus from the dead. Confess with our mouth and believe in our heart, and then the Word says we shall be saved. Let me tell you, that is where we are. We've got to believe. We've got to set our mind and our sights on being better than we were. Let me tell you, May 31st, 1889. Not 1989, but 1889. May 31st. See, there was this, I'm about to tell you, about up until 9/11, the worst man-made disaster in U.S. history. 1989, May 31st, storms just raged and dumped numerous amounts of rainfall. Just some set up toward 8 and 10 inches. Just numerous amounts of rainfall. And there was an earthen dam that was built by man. And it was stocked, it was a resort for rich people, and it was stocked with all the finest of fish. And they decided that they would lower that dam just a hair in order for the guy who owned the resort to be able to cross with his buggy. They weakened the dam, they lowered it enough to make it wider. It began to rain, and it rained, and it rained, and it rained, and the waters rose, and the waters rose, and they began to rise. And then one morning, on May 31st, the caretaker got up and he says, we got to go to work, the dam's going to break, the water's going to go over it. They began to start working, and about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they said, get everybody off this thing, it's going to break. Send word down to the towns below that the dam is about to break. They had cried and they had shouted and they had given warning so many times they ignored it. The dam broke, it breached, and over 14 million cubic meters of water, I can't even remember how many hundreds of thousands of tons that was, traveling at 40 miles an hour, rushed down that mountain, went through the first town, which was had an industry there where they made barbed wire. It completely crashed through. It carried train cars and thousands and hundred thousands of feet of barbed wire with it, trees and houses and people and animals and metal and everything else it could carry. It went straight down. And in less than an hour, it reached the town of Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and 2,200 plus people died that day. Because somebody didn't take care upstream. Let me tell you something. What's upstream, people? If we don't take care of what's upstream, then everything downstream is affected. Everything downstream is affected. If we don't give our hearts to the Lord today, then our children will most likely not give their hearts to the Lord when the time comes. Let me tell you something. If we don't serve and choose this day whom we're going to serve, then how can we expect our children to do what they're supposed to do? It's foolishness for us to imagine that they can serve the Lord, but I don't have to. You need to do right, but I don't have to do right. You need to get your life right, but I don't have to get my life right. Let me tell you something. Joshua is speaking to us today from the grave, and he is saying, choose this day who you're going to serve. I'm telling you, today is the day. Folks, we are what's upstream. And what is upstream affects everyone downstream. I want you to stand with me, and I want you to do something for me. If you're able to stand and close your eyes, I want you to do so. If you're not able to stand and close your eyes without falling over, then stay seated. Because I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think of that one person. It may be 2, it may be 4, it may be 12. I want you to think of that one person or those people who are the most important people to you in your life. I want you to think of these people. I want you to get their mind, get their faces etched in your mind right now. I want you to see their faces. And I want you to think of them. It could be grandchildren, it could be children, it could be a husband, a wife, it could be your parents, boyfriend, girlfriend. There are people in your life that you love unconditionally. Now I want you to know something. Those people are depending upon the decision that you make today. Those people are dependent upon the decision. Let me tell you, I don't know if I've ever told this story or not to anybody. When my middle granddaughter was born, this is what I said. I said, I'll do the best I can. I might Google at her a little bit and have some fun with her, but I'm too busy. I'm not going to be a good grandparent. And when that child was about 3 months old, when they first started looking at you, I would lay in the recliner and she would fall asleep on my chest. And there was one day, one afternoon, I was laying in that recliner. That child was asleep on my chest. And my wife sat right over here. And this child's mother and father sat right over here. And they were talking. And I looked down at this child and tears rolled down my face because let me tell you something. I love that child. I love that child to this day. I would move anything that I could move for her. I would do anything in my power to do for her. I would create what I could create for her. And she knows right now to this day that I can't tell her no very often. But let me tell you something. That's the love that I'm talking about. That's the hunger and the want to. Let me tell you something. I've got somebody that laid on my chest that wants to serve the Lord and wants to see me serve the Lord. I'm not going to let them down. I'm not going to let the ones that follow me. Let me tell you something. I am what's upstream, people. And you are what's upstream. You are somebody's upstream. And don't poison it today. With your heads bowed and your eyes closed, pray with me. I'm going to ask you to pray with me. And don't walk out this sanctuary today. And if you're listening to us by radio, please pray this prayer with us. Don't walk out this sanctuary and say, well, that was a pretty good sermon, and I'll take it to heart. No, make this choice today because we don't have time. We've got to be pouring into. Let me tell you something. If you've got a 6-year-old grandchild or a daughter or a son, they're going to be driving in 10 years. And it's going to be too late. Now's the time to start pouring into them. So repeat this prayer after me. If you're visiting with us today, we pray this prayer as a team. That's how we work at Christpoint Church. We pray as a team. And I want to invite you to pray with me as a team. So I want to invite you to pray. I want us to lift our voices and cry out to the Lord. And let's pray that prayer right now. Dear Lord, pray with me out loud. Dear Lord. What we're doing is we're helping the one next to us pray. Dear Lord, say it again. Dear Lord, I'm before you right now. Don't let me poison the stream. Don't let me be the weak link. People are watching me. trembling. I come before you, Lord. And I'm confessing with my mouth that you are Lord. And I'm believing in my heart that God raised you from the dead. And I'm asking you to come into my heart. Forgive me of my sins, Lord. That's what I'm asking. In your name I pray. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. With your heads bowed, if you prayed that prayer for the first time, your eyes closed, raise your hand and let me know. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Amen. 5. Is there somebody else? I prayed that for the first time, Pastor. I prayed that prayer. There's one. Amen. And I'm serious about what God is doing. I'm serious about my walk with the Lord. And I'm not quitting on Him, and I'm not backing up on Him. If that's you, raise your hand and say, I prayed today, church. I prayed, Pastor. And I'm serious about what God's doing. Amen, amen. I want to ask you to be seated real quick. And I want to ask those that are to be baptized. Tina's going to help the women, show you where to go. If you're a woman, we want you to go over here to the bathroom, and Johnny's apparently going to go back there with the women. This is hard to get good help. And I want to tell you something, man, what a blessing. I get a call from Super Johnnie last night. He texted me, he called me. I was trying to avoid the storm. Phone died, had to charge it, called him back. Pastor, I want to get baptized tomorrow. Can we do it? I'm like, sure. I said, I'll call JD. Al's out of town. I know Al's back. Thank you. Al, welcome home. And so I'll call JD. JD ran over here. Yes, this is what we do, people. This is what we do. It's exciting. Let me tell you what baptism is. Baptism is that outward expression of an inward working of the Lord. It's that witness to my friends and my family that says, look what the Lord has done for me. I asked the Lord into my heart. He forgave me of my sins. And now I'm going to walk with Him. This is not a ticket to forget. This is not a punch. You don't get your hand punched. Baptism is not a punch on the hand that says, hey, see you later, have a good life. It's a commitment to walk with the Lord. So are we ready? I don't know. Would you ever think Super Johnnie be on time for anything? He's back there getting his clothes off and getting something else on. He's probably going to come out in a 3-piece suit or something. But anyway, it's a good day. It's a good day. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for helping. Thank you for supporting. Their family and some more. Man, it's good. It is good. It is good. It is good. I want to invite you to Hannah sing with us a little bit.
Jesus.
There you go. And see, you're going to make it. We're going to get your microphone. We want you to tell everybody your name and tell us. No, it's okay. Tell everybody what your name is.
Savannah.
Savannah what?
Muse.
Savannah Muse. Now, tell us, do you have family out there with you?
Yes.
Awesome. So you know these super family here? You know them, don't you?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, we're proud of you. Now, you have the Lord in your heart? You've asked the Lord to forgive you your sins?
Yes.
All right, so we're excited about what God's doing. We're here with you, okay? Savannah, it's my pleasure. Just take this hand and put it over your nose and pray that I'll bring you back up. No, I'm not going to bring you back up. You just do that. Savannah, in the name of according to your profession of your faith, it's my pleasure to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Awesome. You're such a good girl. You make sure you show Johnnie what's like that hair. This is awesome. This is such a good day. Thank you for staying around. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for supporting them. She didn't say a word. She didn't say a word. She just came here like a champ. Okay, tell us your name.
Jonathan.
Jonathan what?
Westmoreland.
Johnathon Westmoreland. So we would call you Little Super? Yeah, you've dodged that one for years, haven't you? Okay, now you've asked the Lord into your heart?
Yeah.
Amen, all right. So it's my pleasure, Jonathan, put your hand over your nose. It's my pleasure to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Jonathan, how old are you? 19. Savannah, how old is she? 15. Let me tell you something. They're watering, they're making sure the stream's good. Let me tell you, somebody's got to do it. I don't care if you're 15 or 55 or 105. Never can. It's always a good time to serve the Lord.
Write it. Because the bank will have a field day with it.
Now, you dressed up for this, didn't you? Now tell us what your name is.
Victoria.
Victoria, but most everybody just calls you Tori. Now what's your last name?
Westmoreland.
Did you know Jonathan? Okay, all right, just making sure you knew him. Now, have you asked the Lord into your heart? Are you cold?
Yeah.
Good, well, I mean, it'll feel better when it quits. Put your hand over your nose, and Tori, man, this is so exciting. It's my pleasure to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is so She got out and hurried. Lips and shivered. You know, most of the time it's like 112, but this time we cooled it down. It might cool down just a little too much. All right. I mean, we're ready to go swimming. Now, tell us what your name is. Mikel. Mikel what?
Westmoreland.
Did you know Tori?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure you knew her. Mikel, you asked the Lord into your heart? I'm proud of you too. Amen. And you are my favorite. You're my favorite. Put your hand over your nose and let's do this, all right? I'm excited. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for being an example of the Lord's goodness. It's my pleasure, Mikey, to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Didn't hold water, did it?
Yay, Dovie.
Don't fall down. We will laugh with you instead of at you if you fall down. Now tell us your name.
Dovie, Westmoreland.
Do you know those others?
I do.
Okay. Now, are they They're your brothers and sister? Yeah. Okay, so you are the mother to some of these. Okay, you're not old enough to have children. Okay. Yeah, you're supposed to say, neither do you look old either, Pastor. Okay, thank you. Just gotta pray for everything. So you've asked the Lord into your heart? It's exciting. It's exciting, exciting. Dovie, put your hand over your nose. It's going to take a while, okay? All right. It's my pleasure. This is so awesome to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Awesome. Now, I will say that more than likely we have to replace the carpet when we're done, but who cares? Who cares? We're not bothered about that. Now, do we have anybody left? No, you got to turn your sit down. Yeah. Now here. No, see, you can do it. See, you stick it in here. It won't bother you. You only feel the first initial shock. Now, tell us your name.
Super Johnnie.
Super Johnnie what? Westmoreland. Now, you know this other bunch, don't you?
Yep.
So, do we need to get a towel so you can get the water out of your hair? Okay. You know the Lord, right? It's exciting, man. You guys are awesome. We're loving this. This is so exciting. That, man, this bunch does everything together. I'm loving that. So John, thank you for calling us. Thank you for being a part of our lives. Thank you for the encouragement and for allowing us all to grow together. So it's my pleasure, upon the profession of your faith, just put that hand over your nose to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. There. Love you too. Amen, amen, amen. I think we've got everybody. Lord, we bless you and we praise you. We need you, Lord. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for all that you do for us, Lord. Thank you for this good day, Lord. Thank you for the professions of faith, Lord. Thank you for the baptisms, the witness, Lord. Thank you, Lord, that we are what's upstream. And we have the opportunity to change lives, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen, amen. You are dismissed. I will see you soon.